Download the BCSN Plus app today. Local sports all the time. Visit bcsnnation.com for details. Discounts may apply.
The 2024-25 school year was a special one for Anthony Wayne Athletics. 3 Generals coaches taking home State Coach of the Year honors, and we have all 3 here in studio for a discussion on winning habits, coaching philosophy, and more. We have baseball head coach Ryan Donnelly, volleyball head coach Chrissy Graven, and girls soccer head coach Lori Williams. Guys, I know it's probably hard to get all of you in the same place at the same time for something that isn't Anthony Wayne related, so I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time.
Sure thing.
No problem.
So I want to begin with kind of setting the stage as far as how the year went for all of you. All 3 of your teams winning at least 85% of your games or more, each of you winning an NLL title. So Coach Williams, I want to start with you and kind of the overview of your experience at Anthony Wayne. What defines excellence at Anthony Wayne?
Excellence, it starts in the community and in the classroom, and then that just rolls right into the athletic fields, in my opinion. We have a really high-achieving group of student athletes that are very committed to their craft, whether it be in the classroom or whether it be on the field. And to me, excellence is kind of defined by each individual and what they can bring to the greater good.
And to that point, Coach Graven, your volleyball team is going for 3 straight league titles. Last time you guys did that was from 2000 to 2002. I'm curious if you remember who the second team All-Ohio player was on those Anthony Wayne squads. Do you know? It was you.
Maybe it rings a bell.
So you're used to the high standard and the high bar. So how have you seen that standard develop from your time as a player to now coaching at Anthony Wayne?
Gosh, the game has evolved a lot over those years. Players are more powerful, they're more explosive, they're more skilled. I think there's a lot more development that happens now, more so than the 20 years ago that we had that run in the NLL. But yeah, I think there's a lot more focus. We just know more about the sport and how to train excellence. Back to your question, that we've seen that play over the last few years in our program.
And Coach Donnelly, you coming in before the 2022 season, replacing a legend in Mark Nell, the fact that he was able to build this Anthony Wayne program up into a powerhouse, how much pressure was there not only to replace such a revered coach, but uphold the standard that came with the program?
Honestly, I didn't feel pressure at all. The support system that we have in place, Anthony Wayne's a big baseball community, and really I wouldn't define it as pressure, more of an opportunity. And so I have a lot of respect for Coach Nell. I get asked that question a lot. But I think that he laid a foundation through the baseball, junior generals and everything like that. And it kind of trickles up into the high school, but like this year, all of our kids came through with the staff that we have now. This senior class was freshmen when we took over. And so we're really proud of the success they've had and the buy-in that they've displayed. And no, I don't think when you're doing it the right way, I don't think pressure is the word I would choose. It's more of an opportunity. And I'm really proud of our kids and coaches in the school, community, everybody for the buy-in that we've seen to allow us to do the things we've done.
And as I mentioned, all of you have winning cultures, and something that UConn women's basketball coach Gina Auriemma said that was very profound is the only thing worse than losing is winning all the time, because it can be very intoxicating. At some point, maybe you or your players start defining yourselves by your wins or losses. So Coach Williams, I'll start with you on this one. How do you prevent your players from making losing an affront for who they are as people?
Yeah, we use a kind of moniker that there's winning and there's learning. And so no matter what the game is, no matter what the situation is that we can always learn from our mistakes, whether we're winning or, the scoreboard doesn't necessarily go in our favor. And so we're big believers in, it's a process, it's a long season, it's a grind. We kind of embrace that, in my opinion. The girls really like the schedule that we set up is very difficult. So we purposely put them in situations to try and see how they step up to different challenges. And I'm astonished every year that they continue to find new and unique ways to accomplish those.
And Coach Graven, I'm interested to hear your take on this, because when I spoke to Coach Donnelly before the state Final Four, he said that making it to that point and losing at that point in 2023 showed the team that it isn't just satisfied with getting there. So for you, seeing that you lost a state title game this past year, how do you think the feeling of just winning a regular season game or maybe just winning another league title will alter, knowing that from this past year you can make it even further and potentially even win a state title? Absolutely.
I think the perspective our girls take is, it's great to win the NLL, but it's more so what's after, you know. And I think, honestly, with our program, that was a big roadblock that we had for so many years was, you know, we struggled in tournament play. And now that we kind of broke through that barrier and made it all the way to the final game, we've got that taste in our mouth to know what to expect. And the girls are already talking about, you know, it's our revenge tour, you know, and unfinished business, and getting back to that final game. So absolutely, you know what it takes to get there, and you want to replicate that and finish the job. And yeah, that mentality matters.
And all of you have experience in those tough state titles, state semifinal, regional championship games, losing in them. So, Coach Graven, I'll start with you on this one. What did that loss teach you as a coach?
It's a game. To compete and show up and give it your all. I think there's, you know, you prepare as hard as you can, and you know, believe in your girls, and you know, things fall your way and some things don't. But I think it's, you know, like what Coach Williams said, it's a process, it's a journey. How do we respond? And you know, I think the girls were hurt and disappointed, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, we came back to the school and we didn't want to leave, you know, because it was almost like the feeling of if we left that charter bus, you know, after it dropped us off, then we were closing that book on that chapter, and the girls didn't want to leave. And that just, you know, the whole experience we had last year, the journey, the process, to me, that spoke more than anything as a coach and as a team. So, yeah, getting to that final game and losing in a heartbreaking way that we did, it, you know, it just teaches you life. I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you know, the girls are very connected, and you know, they stayed together as a unit. So super proud of how they responded.
Coach Williams, for you, how do those type of losses make you a better coach?
I think you learn, again, you learn something from every, you know, situation that you put yourself in and you put your team in. You see the resolve, you see how sports are just a reflection of what is able to happen later in life, and you see students be able to overcome obstacles. You know, it is ultimately a game. The sun came up the next day after we lost the state championship. It hurt a lot, but it also left a sour taste, as Coach Graven said. And we want to make sure that we do everything with detail-oriented and make sure that sometimes the ball's not going to go your way, but everything that is in our control, we want to be able to control and take care of what we can.